So this is live streamed to X, Twitter, and welcome. And I am going to upload it later on to YouTube. So if you are on the tube, go and check out my channel over there, Astro Lunatic, and you can see my past shows, which aren't, you know, they're months and months ago. My astrology, current astrology, which wouldn't be applicable to now, right? But um, I don't know. I talk about some stars and asteroids. I did some special shows just specifically for that. So if you want to check that out, that's over on the YouTube Astro Lunatic. That's where you'll find me. Anyway, thanks for being here. And I'm in the process of setting up this screen share. So if you bear with me, uno a momento, because of course, I can't do this the easy way. There is an easy way. I just want to do it my way. What do we got here? Because I like my iPad and I like the iPhemeris program app. So, so deal with it. We're going to talk about the moon in Aries today, which is super feisty. Can you relate to the super feisty? Why is that frozen? Good Lord. Get out of there. Okay. Mm-hmm. Still figuring this stuff out. I'm very sorry. Thank you for your patience. And yes, thank you, Darren. I appreciate you, Darren. Darren says he can hear me now, which is very important because you couldn't hear me yesterday. But today you'll be able to hear me and see my screen share when I get it going on. Okay. Jesus. Oh, the learning curve. But this is definitely a good time to work on your technological skills. Aquarius season, good for everything technology, networking, and the like. I always tend to focus on my technology this time of year. Bingo, there we go. Zippity doo dah. Um, ugh, this time of year, I'm always brushing up on my technology game, learning new things, thinking about buying new software and hardware and whatnot. So, yep, here we are in the Aries moon. And I don't know if you felt it earlier, but there was definitely some frustration in the air. If you woke up cranky, that's why. Moon conjunct Chiron, Chiron and Aries square to retrograde and out of bounds Mars. Frustration and aggravation off the charts. So, I mean, that manifests differently for everyone, different ways. But if there's, the frustration of just stuff that like the old shit we're still dealing with, or whatever it is, it's personal to everyone. But Mars is not happy because Mars is moving backwards and Mars likes to move forward. So, who's this affecting? It's affecting Aries planets. And I'm saying planets because it's not all about your sun. If you don't know your chart, go pull one up. If you can't figure out how to pull one up, then let me know. I'll pull one up for you. You need your birth time, date, and place for an accurate chart. Anyway, so the moon, the mood, the people, the public, the sentiment in Aries wants to move forward, is being held back and frustrated by Mars because there's things that we have to deal with. It's just the way it is. Just the way it is. And it's going to be that way until February 23rd, I believe it is, for people that this affects. Again, primarily, first and foremost, it's the Aries people ruled by Mars. Also, Scorpio people, because Mars is co-ruler to Scorpio. So, first Aries, and because Mars is in Cancer, Cancer people, Cancer placements also being affected, being pissed off, being aggravated, being, working your last nerve. Um, and Capricorn, which is opposite and opposite Mars and square to Aries. Capricorn is trying to get shit done, and Aries is frustrating, and Mars is frustrating. Libra is probably in there too, right? We're all getting hit. So the cardinal signs: Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, first and foremost. It maybe works well for the water signs, but probably not. I just don't think it works well for anyone. You know, it's just grr. So, also in asteroid news, uh, the moon, let me see, the moon conjuncted Eris, which is the goddess of discord. Not happy. And then moving forward, we'll conjunct, pass over Phaethon, which is retrograde. We'll talk about that. And asteroid house at 29 Aries. And Hygeia at 28. So the moon, the mood, the focus can be good for starting new things, let's say. All right. Definitely when we get past the chaos and discord, which is Eris. But you know what? Sometimes that chaos tells us what's out of balance and what needs to be worked on, right? Phaethon, we'll talk about that in a minute. Hygeia, that's health. So, health and hygiene and natural remedies. And the antidote to Mars frustration is work it out in a different way. Exercise. That's definitely a good thing. Herbal. I've I've found rue to be fantastic for uh, dealing with Mars issues because let's say fever. Fever is a Mars issue, right? And so inflammation, that type of thing. So you can look for herbs, but honestly, getting moving, getting the blood pumping, vigorous, whatever, walking, exercise, that helps. Because if you don't burn it off, it'll internalize or externalize in very cringy ways. So, public service announcement. Where's the moon in terms of declination? I like to look at the declination. Well, it's 11 degrees north. So it's moved away from Saturn. Yesterday, the moon by declination was opposing, which is called contra parallel, opposing Saturn because Saturn's at 6 degrees south. So dealing with restrictions, dealing with delays, being held back, being limited, it just kind of contributes to the frustration. Um, so 11 degrees. So the moon is moving north in declination. The next thing that it will do will be, yeah, tomorrow it'll be opposing Mercury. So that's a good, not opposing, I'm sorry, but by declination, let's just say it's, if I say contra parallel, most people aren't going to understand what I'm saying. So I want to clarify to say the moon by declination in the northern declination is going to oppose, but it's really called a contraparallel. It'll be sort of opposite in the degree of declination to Mercury. So some kind of conversation, information, but I don't want to get too complicated here. I just want to look for myself. So what else is going on? Yeah, again, we're waxing. The moon is waxing, it's growing. We're working on stuff. Good time to start new things or plan and plot your way along. I don't expect things to move forward until Mars moves forward. So that's what I was going to look at. Mars will be direct on the 23rd. Just want to see exactly what time ish. Because I don't want to give you the wrong information. For most people, it doesn't even matter. And it depends on your time zone. So that looks like 9:30-ish p.m. on the 23rd. That's Eastern Standard Time. Mars goes direct. So that looks interesting. We'll talk about that at the future date. But when Mars goes direct, Mars is making a trine to Mercury. So it's forward action, news and information, planning, disseminating information with, well, it's not exactly conjunct Saturn, but Mercury is with Saturn. It's moving towards Saturn. So it's deciding or getting information regarding something that's solid, some kind of definite commitment or or a time frame of when you have to get things done, or an idea of um, how the future looks going forward, or the rules, the structure, the limitations. I mean, there's been a lot of difficulty defining Saturn, reality, Saturn in Pisces. So this is what we're hashing out, right? What are the parameters? What are the limitations? What are the responsibilities? Who's accountable? Who didn't do their job? So, moving forward, we'll really get going around the 23rd. And for a week, see my pinned tweet. There's a pinned tweet on my my profile, and it says, "What? When will things change?" Right? And I list them off. Uranus goes direct, Jupiter goes direct, and then Mars, and we have the eclipses, and then everything changes. It's kind of crazy. So things have been moving forward. We have been getting information. We have been deciding, making decisions, having conversations, learning more, um, educating ourselves, and things have been changing very quickly, very rapidly. I think people don't quite know what to make of it, whether it's good, whether it's bad, what are the actual implications, and who's going to carry out, who's responsible for all of this. So I'm just going back to see what happens with Saturn before Mars goes direct. So the 9th, 8th, 7th, soon. Soon you will get more clarity. Soon you will have a solid idea of what needs to be done, how things are going to move forward, how this reality is starting to take shape, this new reality. Let's label it. Let's put it that way. And where are we at? Boom, boom, boom. So before Mars moves forward, there has to be a structure put in place. There has to be commitments made. Really. So tomorrow, Jupiter goes direct officially. Venus is in Aries, starting a new thing. And so that's what I wanted to look at. Saturn and Mars come together in a trine. So our actions, our commitment, the structure, what we're moving towards, what we still have to do before we move forward will become clear the 6th. That's an 8-day if you're keeping track. So the 9-day would be the 7th. So something ends, a level of something ends, a cycle ends. If you're looking at a 9-day cycle, this is absolutely going from the old way, the old structure, into the new system, the new way, the new world. So that starts to become clear around the 7th with Saturn making a trine to Mars. It'll feel a little bit weighty because you still feel held back. You still feel like you can't quite move forward, but Saturn is going to give you your your task list. Saturn is going to give you what you need to do before you can move forward in a proper way, before you could start rebuilding, let's say. So, how is this going to play out? Look, I mean, just look around you, look at where you are stopped, stalled, frustrated. Things are changing. Things are changing. You have to be able to see where things are changing and what you'll need to do about it, because things will move forward regardless, with or without you. You can sit there and throw your tantrum on the ground and, shake your fist at God. Shit is moving forward, whether we like it or not. So find your place. Find your place. Take responsibility, accountability for how your life is going to go. Moving forward, make your plans, all of that good stuff. So, again, we're still in the opening scenes of the month. We have some really interesting stuff coming up. So, the moon in Aries conjunct Chiron is not feeling so great. It just isn't. So, but tomorrow's another day. On a mental level, the Mercury in Aquarius is great for getting detached and just taking a big picture view, making a great aspect to Jupiter, learning, information, right? Travel. If you feel frustrated because you can't travel, well, make a plan. Think about where you want to go. Go and research that place. You can travel in your mind. But uh, networking, great for networking, any kind of technology and social media and friend stuff, friend, you know, friend groups, networks. If you don't have any people around you in your immediate environment, it's time to go find some. Don't think that there's no one out there who thinks like you or that you can't find them because that's not how it works. It's like attracts like. And if you have the expectation that there are people out there I can connect with, there are people out there who will th- appreciate me or that we have common ground or that, a lot of people are in a phase that a lot of people I know I've talked to are just in a phase where it's like, all right, it's time to leave some people behind. It's time to leave some groups behind and find new friends to go play with. And that the best way to do that is to learn something new. Get involved in a group. Go find people who want to learn about the things that you want to learn about. Share. Share your struggles. Anyway, support group energy right here. We're all slogging through it together. So I see more, you know, maybe like a renewing of a commitment to something more mm, when it comes to the Saturn type of commitment and reliability. Um, Good chance to go rebuild things. There's probably discussions that need to happen with people that you're already intertwined with. And it helps not to like pop off in the moment when you're frustrated at that moment. It's a good idea to like set ground rules for dealing with frustration and anger. You know, uh, it's not wrong to get angry. Anger, feelings are not wrong. Feelings should just be acknowledged. But, we should take responsibility for how we deal with our feelings, and the choices that we make, how we choose to speak to one another. Uh, so I think healthy relationships have ground rules for fighting. Like there's a line that you don't cross. Abuse, name calling, personal attacks, that kind of thing. Uh, Letting one another speak, listening, that kind of thing. This is good for working that out. So let me see. Where's my moon? Okay, so I talked about Eris, Phaethon. Let's talk more about Phaethon. Phaethon is an asteroid. The myth of Phaethon is similar to the myth of Icarus. Deals with misuse of power, going too far, um, the consequences of hasty actions and irresponsibility. So let me see. I like to look up even the asteroids that I know. I know what their myth is, what their story is, but I do like to read it sometimes and remind myself because sometimes I see things that I didn't see before. But Phaethon in Greek mythology was the son of Helios, the sun god, and he asked his father if he could drive his solar chariot for the day, like, Dad, can I take the car out? All right, son, here's the keys. Be careful. There's a lot of horsepower under that hood. So what does Phaethon do? Because he was probably inexperienced or just, the lack of wisdom in youth. So he could not control the the immortal horses that pulled the chariot. And so he ended up losing control and plunging to plunging down towards Earth, and he came too close to the Earth. So Zeus had to strike him down with a thunderbolt in order to save the Earth from destruction. How does that relate to the news, current events? Very strange, very odd, but it does line up. Too fast, in this case, too close to Earth, too I believe, the helicopter that just crashed into the jet was too high, I believe. I think it was in the wrong airspace. Anyway, so not implying anything, just saying, it's kind of interesting. But that's the myth of Phaethon. So it's also speaking to us about Zeus having to strike the chariot and Phaethon down with a thunderbolt. I mean, that should be a lightning bolt, but strike him down in order to save the earth from destruction. So it does speak about having to destroy something for the greater good to save, the earth from disaster. Isn't that interesting? I think that's interesting. And it also lines us up with the myth of Icarus. And Icarus, let's see, Icarus. The moon was squaring Icarus yesterday or the day before. Icarus just entered Capricorn, I believe. Icarus. Wait a minute. No, 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 no. I'm sorry. I'm lying. The new moon was conjunct Icarus, and Mercury is now conjunct Icarus. Well, it will conjunct Icarus. The sun, Icarus is between Mercury and the sun right now. So Icarus is at 13 degrees. Mercury is at 11. And the sun is at 15 Aquarius. And Icarus is sandwiched right in between there, right in between the mind and the ego, or the soul, the sun, soul, the leadership, and Icarus right in there, driving that chariot. I think Icarus drove the chariot too close to the sun, if I'm not mistaken. But again, it's weird how we have all of these correlations to flying, and we've had these air travel issues. Yeah, so Icarus, Greek mythology, the son of Daedalus who escaped from Crete using wings made by his father, but was killed when he flew too near the sun and the wax attaching his wings melted. So that's an interesting theme. And I talked the other day about uh, Saturn, which is in the constellation of Pegasus. Venus has been moving through the constellation of Pegasus too in Pisces. And that has to do with flight, flying over any situation, or also being taken down a peg. So, um, healing is also coming up because Pegasus is associated with herbal and healing and natural remedies. Um, and we have the moon conjuncting Hygeia today. So that's something to think about. Um, what else do we have going on with the asteroids? Sun was conjunct Apophis. I saw some asteroid, like some asteroid. This asteroid is going to hit the Earth. I don't listen to that bullshit. So I can't tell you which one it was, but it pops up. Apophis is a destroying energy, but it's also, death and rebirth. It's snake energy. It's the adversary. It's the Egyptian Satan. Oh, there was something that I wanted to bring up that I thought was interesting. Let me see. Oh, Pythia. Where did I see Pythia? Hang on. Pythia. Pythia. All right. Pythia was in Aries, and the moon was conjunct Pythia earlier. Pythia. And I wanted to point that out. Okay, so Pythia is conjunct Chiron. But one thing I wanted to point out with Pythia, so the moon would have hit that about 8 hours ago. Okay, so Pythia is um the Pythia was the oracle, the Delphic oracle, the oracle of Delphi. So a Pythia is a seer, prophet, priestess, or the oracle of Delphi, has having a talent for divination. Interesting. Also associated with drug use. Clairvoyance, all around psychic power, oracle, interpretation, explanation. It could also be hallucinogenics, that sort of Neptunian fog, delirious ranting, deluded people, dementia, paranoia, um, and also anything uh, associated with um, divination. Also, purification rituals, fasting, detox. Maybe somebody needs to detox. But I thought that was a little interesting because if you're thinking like this is like 8 hours ago, this would have been if you're on the East Coast time or even on West Coast too. It's like this is something that a lot of people and energy a lot of people would have woken up with, right? And it's Chiron, it's already associated with healing, and it's square to Mars, is that something needs to be done. There's an action that needs to be taken. So if you had some sort of like fakakta moment today, take note because this is showing you in a prophetic way what's to come so that you can, do like a threat assessment and mitigate future damage. So that's a good analogy here of what's actually going on. If you want to know what's going on behind the scenes, what kind of like military briefings and secret conferences, I guarantee you this is what's going to be. This is what's going on. But it's going on in your life too. I know it's going on in my life. Oh, I had a shitstorm today that, it's just, I could see so far down the road. I'm like, you know what? I got to respect other people's choices, yes. But when other people's choices are fucking with my life, no, I don't. No, I don't. This Aries moon says, fucking put yourself first. If you can see the fuckery and how something is going to mess with your peace and, you know, peaceful pursuit of happiness, and you don't do something about it, save yourself the grief. Put yourself first. That Piscean thought of, putting others before you, that's bullshit. I go with put your mask on first before you can help others. You have got to be okay so that, you'll be no use to anybody. And, you know, you are here to thrive and be happy. So figure out what's keeping you from thriving and being happy. Okay. Was there any other asteroids that I wanted to look at? I hope everyone's day is going better than mine. I'm glad to be on here though. You know what it is like? It's all the little shit that if I didn't have to deal with this, if I didn't have to deal with so much other stuff, I just think about like how far along I would be if I had all the time in the world to focus on myself and what I want. If I had the luxury of being selfish. Oh my God. Someday. Someday. It's okay. It's getting better. I just like to complain. It makes me feel better. So it really does. All right, all right. Okay. I'm just looking up the asteroids. I just wanted to see. I would want to make sure I'm not missing any because I did see some interesting stuff the other day. But, hmm. All right. Well, Apophis is way out in front of the sun, so it's going to square to Uranus before the sun does. It's moving faster than the sun because they already conjuncted the sun and Apophis, that sort of destructive energy. I'm just looking to see if there's more shitstorm coming our way. Where's Mercury? 11 degrees. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, well. Well, Mercury will conjunct Icarus in the next couple of days, so something somebody says might be going a little too far, or, somebody could be being called out for their irresponsible behavior. I know I'll be having that discussion. Of course, I'm gonna do it when I'm not so pissed off. I've learned my lesson. I keep my mouth shut now. Yeah, all right. Oh, I've been watching this cluster of asteroid Radiocommunicata, Child, and Kassandra at the very last degrees, 28 and 29 of Aquarius, because they did square and have been squaring Uranus. And when I see stuff like this, I look around to see what's playing out in the lexicon, in public. And I think I found it. And I keep looking at it as, all right, Radiocommunicata, and that can be text messages. Any kind of radio communications, I would just go to, you know, t the technology that we have today, or a radio broadcast, maybe. But you know what? The scope is broadened now. A child and Cassandra. Cassandra is the prophetess who was basically cursed to prophesy the truth, but no one would believe her. That's kind of like, what? Why is no one, I warned you. Why is no one listening to me? Story of my life. But I've been trying to figure this one out or look and see where, excuse me, looking to see. And I think I found it, but I'm not ready to make that video yet because it involves public figures and celebrities. It does involve a child, because I'm looking at this and I'm like, all right, I found it where someone was communicating with a child uh, in an improper way. But was also looking for, because these two asteroids have been traveling together for a while with Cassandra. Uh, I was looking at it in terms of Diddy and Cassie Ventura, Cassandra, um, and any kind of communications. But what was the child about? And I think I found it. So I got to work it all out. I have to look at the aspects to other asteroids and to the people's charts, but I think I found it. And it's not quite public yet, but I'm thinking that this is going to become a big thing um, through the legal system. I mean, through court filings, through lawsuits. So I'm thinking it will become public. Uh, I'm just not, whatever. I'm not trying to predict anything. I want to, I want to see how it's playing out. I need to be able to connect the dots as far as the astrology goes and map it all out in my brain and see how and where the dots connect so that I could show people astrologically. This is what I'm looking at. Blah, blah, blah. So that's what I'm looking at, if you want to know. Oh, yeah, there was one other thing. We'll get to that. So it's interesting. It's just interesting to me because I sit here and watch these things. I've been watching these asteroids. I've been looking at like, okay, how is this reflecting in my reality? How is this reflecting on the public stage? Who are the people who are the players in this live live role playing mythology, uh, comedy drama, theatrical production that is the world we live in. So it's just very interesting. Um, but I'm going to start making videos specifically about certain people and situations, cases, whatever, just whatever pops up on my radar. If you have anything, you who are listening, if you have anything that you think is really interesting that you want me to look at a chart for, whether it's an event or a person, or a thing or whatever, uh, make leave a comment, make a suggestion. Okay, can you look at this, look at that, whatever. What do you think about, or when is this going to happen? I like doing that stuff. So, uh, yep, if there's anything you guys want to know about, you can always ask questions, put it in the comments, send me a DM if you don't want to like leave your thing public. That's fine. I won't even say who suggested it. I respect the privacy. But what I am really feeling coming down the pike is I know we've all been waiting for it. You know, we all love the gossip, we all love the scandal, we all love the exposure when somebody Diddy is, people are taken down. Jay-Z. Uh, uh, um, but I like looking at the astrology of it. I like looking at, I'll look at something and say, oh, huh, I could see where this is headed. And look, this is probably when this is all going to come out, but it's so much more fun to share it with people. And I like to teach. I like to, share what I know with others. And um, so that's what I'm in the process of doing, making specific videos about specific people and events. It's just finding the time and because I've already sat down and looked at the astrology anyway, but it's making the video and then, you know, putting it up. But that's where I'm at, and I'm running off at a pretty good pace. I'm happy with this February, even though it's frustrating. Um, it's good, and I'm telling you that the aspects we have right now are really good, even though there's that frustration. And Mars doesn't go direct until the 23rd. But we have from the 23rd until the beginning of March when Venus goes direct and then Mercury goes direct. Again, I refer you to my pinned comment post on my profile. It'll show you all of those upcoming aspects, and it'll be a really good thing when all the planets are direct, but you're only going to have a week. So make hay while the sun shines and, keep track of where things are looking like they're headed and be ready to recalculate and, you know, maybe restart, rethink, revamp with Venus and Mercury retrograde because I retrograde periods are good. It's always good when you get a chance to do something over, to tweak, to make adjustments, to it's almost like we get a chance to redo the past in some ways, but it's good to know that that's not the time when you're going to be making big, major decisions. Because I'm telling you, the last week of February, that energy is going to feel like we're boom, off like a slingshot, off like a prom dress. And then suddenly, uh-oh, got to redo some stuff. Uh-oh, that's not what we thought it was. False start. And then you've got another month because the eclipses. Oh my God. We need to talk about that. We will, we will. And the other thing I didn't get to when I was looking at the asteroids, what I'm looking at, my favorite pet asteroids. I didn't get to mention in my previous broadcast that Saturn at 17 degrees of Pisces, so this will be important. Um, Saturn is opposite asteroid Vibilia, Vibilia, Vibilia. And Vibilia, in I think it's Roman mythology. Let me just check. She's a goddess. Another one of them goddesses. Um, Greek or Roman. I don't know. My thing isn't opening. Oops, Vibilia. Uh, she was the goddess of transportation and travel. So trips. You want to take a trip, you've got to go see Vibilia. Go talk to Vibilia. Well, I'm trying to look it up. I don't know where I had found it. Maybe it was on a different page. So Vibilia, the goddess of travel, has been opposite to Saturn. And look, look, look what's been going on. It's like it's a whole hot mess. Vibilia. So Saturn opposite, all right, whatever, I can't find it. Saturn opposite Vibilia. Vibilia is also retrograde. So it's obstacles to travel, it's delays in travel. It's we need to really go back and look at our method and mode of transportation and travel. But there could also be people under scrutiny and looking at maybe authorities looking at travel and who traveled and where did they go and who paid for it. And there is something about travel. I just want to point this out because I didn't in my previous broadcast, and I think it's very interesting and pertinent. So, so Vibilia is in Virgo at 16 degrees retrograde. It is conjunct Orcus. Orcus is one of those judges type asteroids. Orcus is another like it's a underworld god slash judge. So it's like a judge of the dead. But we can look at this as like mm, I always look at these kind of asteroids as like judging the judges, judging the people in power, judging those who have an oath and a duty of care to society. And Orcus, I have seen it with, especially here. I mean, it's been here for a while, and I have been talking about this for a while, but it was on my previous shows on YouTube with Orcus and Aphidas. These are two asteroids. They've been hanging out together in Virgo. Virgo is the sign of the common people, the workers, but like civil servants and the duty of those who are in service to the public, civil servants. So Orcus in Virgo is um judging the oath breakers because Orcus is about the oath breakers. So those who are not upholding their oath of office, their duty, their oath to the public, to the population that they serve. I've seen this with judges, uh, those in the legal system, in the like district attorney's offices and law enforcement and people who are running organizations that serve the public, right? But they're not keeping their oath. They're not doing their duty and they are being judged. Saturn is opposite right now. So Saturn is hammering hard. Saturn is hammering hard on the people who are responsible for the travel and safety of the public travel, Vibilia. Orcus in Virgo are, the protocols, the details. Virgo is about our systems and our regulations and the rules and the steps that you need to follow, the details. So it has everything to do with, the statutes and rules and laws, but local or that govern specific industries. So here, what are we looking at? We're looking at travel. And so that's going to be an ongoing discussion as Jupiter, which is going to move direct, moves forward in Gemini. It will square to Vibilia. It will square to Orcus. And I spoke about Aphidas. Aphidas is that's my RICO criminal organization asteroid. So if you're interested in the mythology and you want to look it up, Aphidas associated with like guilty by association. So yes, it is people who are doing shitty things and you get caught up in it because you may or may not be doing that stuff, but it's guilty by association. That to me is a function of that asteroid, the way I've seen it function. Saturn is opposed, these three right now. Vibilia, we can see very specifically, but um, we're definitely going to see more let's see, more scrutiny and more judgment, should we say, or consequences um, from Saturn in Pisces opposite Aphidas. We're going to see more lawsuits and criminal charges uh, against people who are responsible for serving the public. Excuse me. So yeah, because Saturn is about responsibility. Pisces is about passing buck or, not being clear about who's responsible or what the rules are. And in Virgo, these asteroids are going to give us a chance to look at those things. And Jupiter is going to expand the conversation. That's a big thing this year. So if you think there are sealed indictments that are going to be unsealed, this would be the year for that. I'm interested. I want to see it. Show me what you got. So we'll see. Jupiter goes direct tomorrow. I guess we'll find out, right? Okay, I think that's all I want to say. I think I'm done. Need some water. But anyway, I have reached two goals today. I have shared my screen and I had my sound come through the speakers. Yay! Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you like the show, please give it a heart, like it, share it if you feel so inclined. Follow my account for notifications of when I go live. My next goal is to do live readings. So when I work out my audio-ish, I will be able to take live calls and I will be reading people's charts because that's what I like to do. And I think that's fun. I think people will enjoy it. And I think it'll bring some interesting comment onto my timeline, my Twitter timeline. But again, thanks for joining me. And again, like, share, subscribe, follow, ask questions, comment, and chat. And I don't know. I still don't think I have a chat room, but I think I figured out how to do it. So maybe next time. It was suggested to me that I funnel people into a Discord, but I don't want to do that. I want to stay all on one platform. I know there's a way to do it. I will figure it out. So that's where I'm at. If you're interested in a reading, private reading with me, you can send me a direct message. Um, I will see it if you follow me. If you don't follow me, I might not see it. So please follow. And you can also email me at astrolunatic@gmail.com. I take all forms of payment imaginable. And if I don't have it, I'll sign up for it. So, uh, yeah, I take crypto. I even take crypto. I love to get paid in crypto. That's my goal. That's on my list, my to-do list for 2025. Get paid in crypto for a reading for the first time this year, which could happen on X. If you didn't know, XRP, I believe, yeah, I think X payments are going to be taken through the Ripple system through XRP. So digital currency is here, guys. You can rant all you want about it, or you can just learn to learn a way to use it to your advantage. So, with that, I am signing out, signing off, over and out. Until next time, peace. Peace out.